What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another Barber video. Today we're going to do a versus trimmers. That didn't even make sense, but whatever, guys. Trimmer versus trimmer, that's kind of what I meant to say. We've got the Amazon Kemei 1931 and the Andis GTX EXO. Same blade. And I'll have a clip as to how we changed the Kemei out from the factory blade to the cutting blade and the steel blade. Exact same blade setup, different spring system, and the way you zero gap, it's different. You guys will see that in the clip. But head to head, what are my thoughts? All right, let's get right into it. First off, price point about 180. If you go to Amazon, you might be able to find them cheaper somewhere else, but 180 was the cheapest we found at the time. $29, guys. $29, $180. Name brand, off brand. Noise test right off the bat. This one's not brand new, but it's not terribly old, but it has been used. It's probably been used on more bulk, obviously, than what this has been. I don't know how that sounds on the video, guys. In person, no offense to this one. Like I said, it's been used. Let's get that out first. This one is definitely quieter. So you have your switch on the front, just like most of the Andis outliner and the GTX have. This one has a switch on the side. It's actually not as inconvenient as what I thought. It's actually not bad at all because it sits pretty flush. So it's not really in your way at all when you're holding on to it. Weight, as far as weight goes, way lighter. I mean, honestly, you pick it up, some of the guys were joking when I first got it out of the box that it felt like a kid's toy because it is very, very light. This one's got a little bit of weight to it, which is not a bad thing at all. This one's actually, it's just as heavy as the FX. I was gonna say, it may even feel a tad heavier because it's smaller, a little stubbier than the FX is, but definitely has some weight behind it, which is probably why it balls out better than the Kemei. Now, I have not used this much on balding out at all. I'm not saying I'm scared to try it, because I will do it, and we'll have some clips of it, but I just haven't done it yet. I have a feeling that through thick Asian hair or a lot of thick straight hair, coarse hair, I have a feeling that this is definitely going to outperform the Kemei. Now, with that being said, if that's not what you do with your GTX, as far as just lining things up, the beard, front hairline, down the neck, just lining things up, guys, that's it. 180 versus 30, plus 40 for the blade. So 70, $40 for the GTX EXO blade, $30 for the trimmer, so 70 all together, 180. Just lining things up. Kemei's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying it's better. Whoa. Not saying it's better. But $70 to $180, 180, 180, whatever. The Kemei's not bad at all. That's all I'll say. Now, with that being said, the Kemei, it only has a charging cord. It's a USB cord, which is not bad because my station has a USB port on the side, comes outside to charge it, whatever, no big deal. Obviously with the GTX, you do get the dock. So that's probably where some of that price point comes in. So just the trimmer alone probably would be closer to price point. No, I mean, it's still gonna be more expensive. But with the dock included, that's obviously a bonus for the GTX. But if you use, like, you know, for instance, I use the FX3 with the original FX Gold blade, thanks to Filthy Blends and the modification he has. I use this one. This is my other liner. If I'm gonna line people up, it's gonna be one of these two. As far as balding people out, I continue to go back to the FX with the original gold blade. I'll set in my bald line with the cordless detailer just because it is my softest hitting trimmer. Bald out below that with the FX. And if I need to use a shaver, then I'll use my FX shaver. And then my cordless detailer, it's just enough to where I can take that out with, with my clothes clipper, and we're good to go. Not much more I can say, guys. I did put a gripper on it. It's very light. It's not. This one's got that black coating on it. I don't know if that makes a difference. Grip wise, they feel somewhat similar, but what I did end up doing, I got the Gamma shaver gripper on here, and it feels a lot better. People yanking on the door already. We're not quite open. I'm still trying to make a video here, people. All right, guys, so I'll get some clips of using it and putting it together, guys, and y'all let me know what you think. Overall, guys, I am very, very happy so far in the week that I've used it, that I made the purchase. Like I said, I already had the GTX EXO blade in the drawer, just in case another modification came out. Just happened to come across this one. I'm very happy that I picked it up. Well worth it in my opinion, especially if you already have the blade. Now, would I say skip this one to go straight, or skip this one to go straight to the Kemei? Maybe not, especially if you have, if you can afford to get it, go with the name brand. It's gonna last better. There's probably better warranty or whatever. But if you are on a budget and you really like the GTX EXO blade that you've seen people using here lately, then I have no problem telling you to go out, just for lining people up, to go out and pick this up. $30, $40 for the blade, $70 total. I have no problem at all telling you guys to go do that. Fix to head to church in just a minute, but I want to give you guys my final thoughts on the video before we actually get into the tutorial of how we changed over the Kemei blade to the GTX blade. My final thoughts, guys, it actually outperformed my expectations. Now, I didn't have really high expectations. I knew that it was working really well on lineups and stuff, but when it come to bulk, that's where I told you guys I hadn't used it yet. I wasn't sure. Outperformed it, guys. So what I might actually do, I may buy a second one just to put in the drawer for a backup, just in case it does go out quickly. And if it does go out quickly, then we'll know that it's not ultimately worth it. But as it sits right now, guys, no complaints. Went through bulk without leaving any hair behind, without snagging, without bogging up. It busted through it, guys. You guys could hear the crunch, and a lot of that credit goes to the actual blade system itself. But as it sits right now, I cannot complain, guys. For a fraction of the cost, if you really like that GTX blade but you can't make yourself spend 180 bucks or more, pick up the Kemei. I mean, it literally is working. Pay attention to the tutorial that we're about to get into. You guys will be able to go step by step on how to actually swap out the blade system. And let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. If you haven't, 5K, guys, we finally hit it. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll get into that 5K video coming up soon, and you guys don't want to miss that giveaway. So hop in there. Make sure, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, guys, and let's get right into the actual swapping of the blade system there and see what you guys think. Alright, let's jump right into this modification. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and a pair of needle nose pliers. Start off by removing the 2 screws in the back of your Kemei steel blade. Take the needle nose pliers, get a hold of the springs, and pop them out of their designated holes in the back of the cutting blade cam. Bend them out towards the outsides of the steel blade. You should be able to pop off the cutting blade first, and then the steel blade should just come off pretty easy on its own without it. This is what it looks like with the spring still attached, and this is what it looks like with everything taken off of it. Next up, what you're going to want to do is take the 2 screws off the back of your Kemei blade that the spring system is attached to. What I actually would probably recommend, completely take those screws off. What I did here is I loosened them, and then I tried to just pop this spring out of its place, and it's got so much tension on it, it actually flew across the room. So I would probably loosen those screws all the way up to where the spring just kind of falls off instead of springs off. Once you have removed those 2 screws, what you're able to do then is go ahead and move to the cutting blade. So you're going to take your Phillips head screwdriver and you're going to pop out that cam. There's 2 holes on each side of the cam and then a bigger piece in the middle. All you're going to do is just put your Phillips head into the back of those 2 little holes, pop them out, take your Andis cutting blade, pop the cam that comes on it out, and then attach the Kemei cam follower to the back of your Andis blade. Now once I got it snapped in here with my hands, it actually wasn't completely flush, so what I did was I grabbed my needle nose pliers, give it just a little bit of a pinch just to tighten it up some, and then I actually audibly heard it snap into place, which was a good thing for me to hear because it let me know that this cam is not going to be rattling around, it's not going to be loose, it's not going to come off, it's in there and it's not going anywhere. Next, what you're going to do is take your Phillips head screwdriver and loosen up and remove the 2 screws and the black piece on the back of your Andis blade. That black piece is normally the piece that would allow you to zero gap your GTX blade, but it's not going to be able to be used in the Kemei attachment here that we have. So once you've got a bare Andis steel blade, now you're going to reattach the spring system from your Kemei blade, and it will fit just into place perfectly. The screw holes, everything lines up. It's a perfect match, so there shouldn't be any issues. Just tighten those back down. Now it did take me a second to get the screw back in place, but be patient with it. If it helps to move those springs to the outside of the steel blade again, then do that. And what you'll see here in a second, I did use the flathead to actually pop the spring back into the little groove that it fits in. You guys can kind of see me fumbling around with it, but once you finally get it into the right position, I just took the flathead side there. It's right there in the center of that black piece that you're going to have the issue kind of getting it back in there, which is a good thing because it lets you know that there's a lot of tension on the spring, which is what gives it a little bit of power. Grab your needle nose pliers and you're going to pull that spring back off the edge of the steel blade, and you're going to put it back into its designated hole in the back of the cam follower. You guys will be able to see that whenever you get to messing with it. There's only one place that spring will be able to sit back in. It's a little hole that's cut out in the back of that cam, so it's got no other place that it can go. Once you get both sides back into its designated place, now we can get into the actual zero gapping part of this modification. So with the GTX blade, you would loosen those 2 screws and you would actually just simply slide the blade up to zero gap it. But because we removed it and are not able to use it with this modification, what you're going to need to do is the curve in the springs on this Kemei system, you're going to need to take your needle nose pliers and you're going to put one part of the needle nose on the outside of the steel blade where the Andis logo is. The other part needs to be right in the middle of the bend on that spring, and you're going to slowly but equally on both sides of that spring, on the right and the left side, you're going to slowly bend that spring flatter. As that spring becomes flatter, it's going to push that cutting blade up higher, which is what's going to ultimately get it zero gapped. Now it's totally up to you how zero gapped you want it. The only problem is if you go too far too soon, you will over gap it and you'll have to bend that spring back a little bit and then kind of start over again. So make sure wherever you have it at, that's where you want it to be. Attach the blade back on, 2 screws in the back, and that's it, guys. It's a pretty simple thing once you get into it. It was a lot easier than what I thought it would be. Guys, leave me a comment, like, subscribe, guys. Please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, that way you never miss another video. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you guys like this. Let me know if you actually picked this trimmer up. Like I said, $29 on Amazon for the trimmer. $40 was the cheapest I found the blade. $70 total, guys, and this thing actually, as you guys can see from the clips, it does put a sharp line on people. Let me know what you guys thought. Until the next video, guys, y'all know I appreciate y'all. The Barber Phil, I'm out.